Hello everyone, good evening, welcome back. Today is Friday. We will be getting into the crypto news and the crypto analysis. So get ready. Today we had inflation data was the big expected catalyst to give us a bit of a move. I don't really want to call it so I don't really want to call it a catalyst. I'd more call it more of a trigger to get an excuse of some volatility or lack thereof. We had no volatility this whole week, is what it seems like. It felt only like decay for the past couple of days. This time around, we are finally getting some movement, a little bit to the upside. We hit a high today of 69,429. So that is a start, in my opinion. Hello, Greg. Welcome. Good evening to you too. So plans have changed. Kind of, not really. I was expecting hopefully a rise to 73,000. Of course, seems like obviously 70,000 itself is our first barrier, but I'm looking at the 73,000 to expect a break of whatever downtrend we do have to get at least a relief rally somewhere close to maybe 80,000 was what I was expecting. Not enough strength to do that this week, so that has completely been discarded, and Super Trend has now reduced its level down to 72,500. And it might stay that way for the duration of this weekend because, well, tomorrow's Saturday. We're not going to expect a lot of movement either. So it's going to be rough. Could be a good sign, though. I don't know. We'll have to see where next pivot levels will be for next week, of course. So then that would basically mean as of right now, we're stuck at hovering around 70,000, 69, 70,000. We're at 68,940. Support level still being at 60,000. Resistance, of course, after breaking 70,000, breaking this downtrend, we would approach whatever downtrend line we have next at 80,000 on Bitcoin. That's what I see for the markets as of right now. Seems pretty boring. You know what isn't boring? Is this whole Polymarket stuff with the 5-minute charts, which I'll get into by the end of this stream. I probably should have prepared, some money to actually start trading it, because it actually seems like fun. Yes, it's gambling, but I mean, we're all doing that in a bear market at this point. Nobody knows if this thing is going to keep going higher, recovering at last as it deserves to be, or if we're just going to keep punishing Bitcoin toward the downside and make newer lows because, I don't know, 4-year cycle or something like that. Sure. I really don't see a good reason for us to be dropping. I know there is reasons. Uncertainty with new Fed chair, uncertainty with Iran, uncertainty about the economic data we've been getting, the recession fears, etc. Clarity Act not getting passed, losing the midterms. Sure. But that's stuff in the future. Come on. Rejoice in the moment. Let us rise. Please. I need money. Chad Jeets, welcome. Lovely. So, yeah, that's what I see for now for Bitcoin. Ethereum. We finally went above 2,000. 2,052 is the current price. I don't know, man. 2,150 is where we have the downtrend line breaking for the super trend level, which would ideally take us to 2,400. Like I said, for this week, that's probably discarded because we're not going to get volatility on a Saturday, especially toward the upside. Unless, hey, I'd be happy to be proven wrong, but historically speaking, no. The answer is no. That's never going to happen. So we could just expect 2,000 plus for ETH until this weekend is over. Sunday evening, usually Sunday afternoon, I noticed people try to get ahead of the move. That's when we get our new pivot levels. That's when we get the movement starting up once again, of course. So that's what I want to wait to see before we, start calling out next levels for us moving higher. Oh, great. My OBS is not connecting. Lovely. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, we're going to need a big catalyst, something to actually get us going. I looked this up here. What could catalyze a good bull run again? Fed rate cuts, which would increase the liquidity. It would boost risk on assets, as I've discussed. I'm sure Kevin Warsh will cut the rates. We'll be fine. Passing the Clarity Act. We obviously do need that as well. It's been talked about ever since last year, and I've been talking about it every day since last year. Still nothing. Still getting delayed. Still waiting on the Senate Banking Committee to do their decision stuff. with the big dogs in the crypto industry involved with the SEC. So we'll see what comes up out of that. Sustained institutional inflows. So of course ETFs have been outflow only for the time being, which is annoying because you've become the thing you've sworn to destroy, and yet here we are. Tiny inflows of only 100 million, and then outflows daily of 200, 400 million. So what are we doing here? Yeah, at least so far today was a bit of an inflow day. We'll see what BlackRock reports by midnight. I will not be streaming until midnight, so you're going to have to check that out yourself. I'm sure it's overall inflow today because, I mean, price went up. That means inflow. Post-2024 having momentum. Yeah, basically a part of the cycle where by the end of this year, I'm sure we should expect some upward movement. I know it's only February, and I'm saying, yeah, we should start going up by the end of the year. But realistically, I feel like we would start moving up before that, right? Trump needs to win those midterm elections, otherwise he's going to get impeached. We're not going to get a Clarity Act passed. It's going to be difficult to do that. It's going to be difficult to do a lot of stuff that the so-called pro-crypto administration is planning on doing. When are we getting that strategic Bitcoin reserve buying? What are the plans for accumulating more Bitcoin? When is Cynthia Lummis going to do the, you know, buying the 1 million Bitcoins over a period of 5 years? When is that going to happen? When is Scott Bessent going to do something about that? We're still waiting, right? So it's left the crypto market with much to be desired from the administration. We want more. And then, of course, we will just get our occasional narratives, whether it comes about AI, RWAs, stablecoins, and privacy as well. We've seen those have moves. Decentralized exchanges as well, do not forget. Those sometimes will have their moves, depending on whatever gets hot. Even meme coins can start getting hot again because people will just get bored and then, you know, they'll see a darn picture of a dog and go, haha, let's buy this. You never know. And I really hope that meme coins do kind of come back. Solana really depends on it. We're at $84.86. I can't believe we're still under 100, but fine. 88 is where downtrend invalidates as of right now. This is really close. So either we're ready to make our next leg lower, or we're finally ready to just, you know, start up a new uptrend from here. Meaning that this would have been the bottom at 67. Our higher low would have been at 76. And then we're about to make another higher high point, which, I mean, breaking this level, you're obviously headed to a $100 resistance on Solana if the uptrend was to form from here. Something like this, ideally. With your new uptrend line drawn like that. Let me redraw that. There you go. Something like this, right? Before once again we retest something important at around, I don't know what this would be, 120 or 115. We'll have to wait and see how... It's all depending on time, because as time goes on, this line goes lower. So however long it takes for us to get there, wherever that price of the downtrend line is, and what pivot levels will show us by the time those weeks come, we will have to wait and see where we can see a bit of a slowdown in our little relief rally, our little dead cat bounce, whatever you want to call it. So yeah. What else do we got? A Hyperliquid up 3.84%. Oh, by the way, it said Solana is 7% up. Is it really 7% up? I mean, from... I think I'm back. Anyways, as I was saying, in bear markets, I'm going to close out some stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm consuming a lot of internet. I'm going to disconnect my phone from here. Maybe that should work. I don't know. Because my OBS keeps disconnecting, so I don't know. Too much family using our Wi-Fi. It's Friday evening. What do you expect? Yeah, so that's my thoughts on Solana. Hyperliquid staying strong. I like that. $32. Staying above the 30. Supertrend is on its way up as well. That's a good sign. I like this overall. Not much else to say really with Hyperliquid other than, you know, DEX good, right? Sui up 5% today, allegedly. Here we are approaching that $1 area, something that I did want to see, which is a good thing. 96 cents is the current price. We're getting there. It's going to be important. I don't know if we're going to, like, use that level to bounce lower, or, you know, I want to be more optimistic about it. Maybe we do start getting some moves upward, depending on wherever. I mean, we're not going to get this tomorrow, right? We're going to have to wait until, I don't know, day after. I don't know if we get some decay or something. But wherever new pivot levels get generated, that's kind of what we want to determine before, you know, we get a confirmation bounce. This is where you'd want to enter after super trend, you know, kind of confirms that you are indeed in an uptrend now. Something like this. So you'd want to enter around here. I know I'm saying this, that, la la la, but believe me, this is the plan. If I was to see a good uptrend starting off on Sui, that's kind of what I want to expect from it. So we'll see how it goes. We need the new pivot levels though for sure. So by next week, I'm expecting maybe I could open a good position on Sui. Anything above $1, yes, I will be buying more expensive, but I'll be buying securely, safely. Kind of the same deal with Chainlink, honestly. A lot of them are. You know, downtrend has been going on for such a long time, and gotten to a point where it seems like we've bottomed out. We're rising again, counter trend move, to the point where we're possibly able to invalidate some of these downtrend lines. But you also do have to be careful. One or two altcoins can have a premature move like this. But if Bitcoin doesn't do it first, which requires 72,500, by the way, to be broken, as of the time of this recording, then don't expect the rest of them to actually be sustainable. So Bitcoin has to make the big move first, and then, you know, you could start betting on alts. That's usually how the general market sentiment goes. Right now, nobody wants to buy alts. They're too scared. They will hold Bitcoin until the coast clears a little bit. Once Bitcoin starts making its big moves, we kind of got a, yep, confirmed uptrend, retail interest is back, let's go crazy longs on the altcoins. And then you start seeing the alts give big returns. Speaking of, I mean, there you go. BitTensor already making a bit of a premature move. Already rising up already. Okay, 185 is where it's at. Approaching 200. I wouldn't expect it to really rise too much. And, I mean, be careful with this because, like I said, if Bitcoin manages to, you know, just slightly rise over here and not manage to stay above the 72,500 and starts heading lower, then this move on BitTensor would have just been nothing more than just a large fake out, slowing down at this $200 price, and then ultimately, you know, heading back down into its downtrend, following this downtrend line going forward. Right? Maybe. That's my little hypothesis. I love how I can just click undo and it will switch between charts. That's totally not convenient. Yeah, we got Aptos here as well. I really want to delete Aptos. I'm sorry. I'm really getting bored of it. As of today, no more Aptos. And my whole chart is gone. Okay, well. Don't take it too personally, man. I'm just tired of covering Aptos. It's only down all the time. Get better. 358 is the price of Monero. Also starting off a nice move. Approaching that downtrend line and validation, which happens at 369. So anything above 370 Monero, I like to see that. I would like to see that. We'll see how it goes. I think that's really all for now. I wanted to add, I had these written down. Maybe have a look. No more Avalanche. I decided against it. I would choose maybe a Litecoin or Hedera, or there was something else that really piqued my interest. No, I think that was really it. Maybe Binance. I don't know if I really want to start, you know what, Binance is fine for trading, but I don't want to give that darn guy some of my money, you know? Biggest manipulator out there of the markets. Do we really want to be investing in his coin? That's part of the reason why I also don't invest in Tron. I don't like the founders. They're sketchy guys. I like them personally. Like, I'm sure they're fine. Like, I'll grab a beer with them. But, like, honestly, no. Investing in their projects, seeing what they have done, you know, they've got some criminal cases for a reason. And I know Trump pardoned both of them, CZ and Justin Sun. So, I don't know. I really don't want to trust them. They're on the same level as Sam Bankman-Fried, to me. In terms of the way they do their business, right? Not a fan, but I'm sure their projects are fine. Their projects are fine. Tron, actually good project. Binance Coin, I mean, also actually good project. Centralized exchange, sure. But, I mean, it's good to add it into the mix, because I don't have any centralized exchanges here, truly, right? I have a decentralized one, which would be for Hyperliquid, and I don't want to do Aster, because literally it is from Binance. It's birthed by them, so I do not want any part of that. And why? Because of my dislike of Binance. And here we go again. Me looking at maybe investing in Binance. I really don't think I want to. And it's not like, I don't know. It's not just because, you know, they're an exchange and they're run by CZ. Not anymore, really, but, you know, he's behind the project. He's founded it. His face is on the project. But also because they're a chain, right? But honestly, I would prefer other stuff with actually good people with exchanges that I do trust. For example, Crypto.com. I do like Crypto.com. I use it. I like the CEO. They kind of fell off though, but they're still doing okay, I guess. The partnerships with Trump, that's there. A lot of DJT, Trump stock partnering with the Kronos token. All great stuff. But their price action sucks. Their token sucks. It's inflationary. That's the only issue. The chain, I don't think a lot of people really use it. But it's also, I mean, it's literally crypto.com. When you think of like, how will I buy cryptos? I don't know. Anything crypto.com. I mean, that's literally, it makes sense, right? You want to buy crypto using that. So, you know, who's heard of, I don't know, Kraken or Gemini? Like, what are these exchanges, right? Coinbase, Binance. If a person doesn't know anything about crypto, your average retail investor, they're just hearing about crypto for the first time, they're going to go to something called crypto.com. I mean, it's literally in the name. That's my argument for it. I know it's just a small little marketing thing. And also, like, we've seen a lot of crypto.com ads in multiple places. Remember the last time the FIFA World Cup was happening? There were billboards for crypto.com there. I've also seen it in UFC arenas. I don't remember where else I've seen it. But yeah. Now, of course, we understand that retail interest is not at its highest right now. It's seen better days. And it's been proven, kind of, by the reaction that people saw from Coinbase, for example. The only crypto exchange that made an ad at the Super Bowl. A recent event. Everybody booed it. The average retail investor, they're like, oh, crypto, that thing made me lose a lot of money. Look where Bitcoin is right now, 50,000. Boo. Middle finger. Don't like the Coinbase. And then on top of that, you get slapped with, you know, Brian Armstrong selling shares, withdrawals paused. You can't do anything. You can't buy, sell, or transfer on Coinbase. The bad earnings. It's just this cascade of negativity. Now, I think they've kind of recovered overall because, you know, people felt that, you know what, Coinbase stock is being punished a little too hard. So I think they've had a bit of a relief rally today, if I'm not mistaken. I saw it in the pre-market. It wasn't dropping. Get out of here. Stop. I do not want Valentine's Day. Coinbase. Yeah, here's the little relief bounce. After bad earnings, sure, we got punished. We made a new low. Congratulations. 134 is your bottom. And now we have kind of recovered. We're back up to 166. That is not half bad. How high is that? 14% rise. Once again, it's unpredictable, these bear markets. But yeah. Okay, that is all for the crypto analysis. Let's get into the news. Here's my timestamp for myself in the future. Oh yeah, I still had to edit last night's stream out, like crop out the part where I was muted for half of it. Not half of it, like the first chunk of the stream. It won't let me like edit videos until like 24 hours after due to YouTube's processing time or something like that. So I literally have to wait until like maybe now I can edit it out. But it's not a big deal. I don't know. People would watch today's stream instead of yesterday's stream if they want the most up-to-date news. You want to know what's going on like right now. But still, for the future, for professionalism reasons, I think I would still edit that out so that it's not annoying if anybody ever decides to go back and review old streams, God forbid. So yes, that's my thoughts on the market. Sorry. Okay, now let's actually get into the news. Yes. Here we go. First bit of news. A message from Steve Witkoff, Special Envoy. He says, well, Trump has reposted this. Today, delegations from the United States, Ukraine, and Russia agreed to exchange 314 prisoners, the first such exchange in 5 months. This outcome was achieved from peace talks that have been detailed and productive. While significant work remains, steps like this demonstrate that sustained diplomatic engagement is delivering tangible results and advancing efforts to end the war in Ukraine. Discussions will continue, with additional progress anticipated in the coming weeks. We thank the United Arab Emirates for hosting these discussions and President Donald J. Trump for his leadership in making this agreement possible. Good. Please end the war. It's annoying. Russia-Ukraine war. Just end it. Please, just stop. That's all you gotta do. Reporter asked Trump today, do you want regime change in Iran? Trump says, well, it seems like that would be the best thing that could happen. For 47 years, they've been talking and talking. The reporter then asked, who would you want to take over? Trump says, well, I don't want to talk about that. There are people, though. I'm sure one of them would be whoever the crown prince of Iran was, or something like that. Is that even a thing? Dude, this guy, Reza Pahlavi. Yeah, it was this guy. People are saying maybe he should be the successor to Ayatollah, or the replacement, I guess, to Khamenei. We shall see, man. Another thing about Iran is, what can Iran do to avoid an attack? Well, Trump says you should give us the deal that they should give us the deal that they should have given us the first time. Okay. So I guess no nuclear weapons, no missiles, disarming, and then we don't need a regime change. I'm sure there will still be a regime change, right? They're defenseless. They will get a regime change by force. So, yeah, I've been saying this for a while now. I think Iran's playbook is just to delay, prolong this as much as possible, and hopefully, we outlive Trump, and then people will just forget about it, and we don't have to worry about a regime change. The protesters, I don't know, just kill them off, and we'll let time, make them forget the fact that they wanted a regime change. Because time solves everything. I guess that's their mentality. But giving up the nuclear weapons, the enrichment of uranium, is that what it is? And also, I don't know, their economy, I guess. Their economy does have to improve. The real is trash. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but their country, their problem. But we still have their problem flooding into our city, so let's go. Toronto police are warning of extreme traffic and TTC delays. This is like the subway, the metro. In North York this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. due to a large Iran rally that could draw 200,000 people. Okay, well, don't you guys have work on a Saturday? I do. But hey, sure, fine. Show your solidarity with Iran. Go there if you so please. So that's going on with the Middle East for now. I also saw this other report. No, it's something separate. Okay, never mind. It was about the Caribbean. Some U.S. Marine fell into the water, went missing for like 3 days, and now he's just pronounced dead. We couldn't find the body. So, I mean, it reminded me of Iran because of the same style of ships that were on it. There's one of them in the Caribbean, right? But anyway, that's a separate news. I don't have the article pulled up, but I saw it a little bit. Thomas Massie, I wanted to talk about him a little bit because, well, we know what he's all about. Releasing the Epstein files, right? He says he is prepared to put his life and political career on the line to prove to the world that Jeffrey Epstein's child trafficking operation was not a hoax. He says, my political career is on the line, and my own health and well-being could be too. I've upset a lot of billionaires who obviously aren't of high moral character. I'm sure he's referring to maybe Trump, because Trump does want Thomas Massie out. That is where he's putting, my political career is on the line, because Trump is literally endorsing anybody that is running against Thomas Massie, he said. He finally found some guy, which is I don't want to say he's a random, I don't know who he is, apparently served in the military or something like that. And Trump is endorsing the opposition of Thomas Massie, whoever's opposing him in the primaries. Because Trump's, argument is that Thomas Massie always votes with the Democrats. He's a fake Republican in name only. And he's trying to bully him out of office, same way how he did with Marjorie Taylor Greene. Major betrayal is what a lot of people call Marjorie Taylor Greene, but who knows at this point? And it's all related to that one issue, the release of the Epstein files. However, Boebert and Nancy Mace, they're totally fine. For whatever reason. They remain untouched. I don't know what's going on there. Just saying. I don't know why it's only Thomas Massie and MTG. MTG is gone. Thomas Massie is next. We'll see what happens. And to double down on all this, I think he actually does fear for his life. So he actually had to put this post out today saying, guys, I'm not suicidal. If you find me dead, it wasn't me. I eat healthy food. The brakes on my car and truck are in good shape. I practice good trigger discipline. I never point a gun at anyone, including myself. There are no deep pools of water on my farm, and I'm a pretty good swimmer. So any accidental death from any of those causes was not accidental. I was murdered because they're trying to cover up the Epstein files, I guess is what he's saying. Is this an overreaction? Maybe, but I don't know. Political violence is all over the place. This might actually be something serious. Yeah, it's a real post. Why did I click on that? Maybe Elon Musk favors him? I don't think he will. What does this say? Elon Musk says every member of Congress who campaigned on reducing government spending and then immediately voted for the biggest debt increase in history should hang their head in shame. Oh yeah, that's when Elon Musk was fighting with Trump. I remember this tweet. And they will lose their primary next year if it is the last thing I do on this earth. I remember. I literally covered this post on that stream whenever that happened. I remember. This guy says, please support Thomas Massie. The establishment is working to primary him because he is a genuine fiscal conservative and opposes the big bloated scam. Elon says I will. But now, I don't know. Elon and Trump are kind of buddies again. Kinda. Especially after Charlie Kirk, was murdered. The funeral service that they had, it was like this big reunion for, I don't know, it seemed like the big show for the GOP again. But okay, apart from that, yes, the morning of the death of Charlie Kirk. Nice. Now, we did see the reconciliation of two brothers, long-lost brothers, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, who were separated due to the issue with the big beautiful bill. I think something to do with the visas, I think. And also the Epstein files was another big thing, which was kind of, I don't know, friendly fire, because Elon Musk was also in those files, although nothing incriminating, just a little friendly email here and there, but that's okay. That's okay, we're free to email whoever we want to. Who uses email in 2013, am I right? Trump also posted this on Truth Social, dropping the hammer on election integrity. That's another big thing that's been going on. He says the Democrats refuse to vote for voter ID or citizenship. The reason is very simple. It's that they want to continue to cheat in elections. This is not what our founders desired. I have searched the depths of legal arguments not yet articulated or vetted on this subject, and will be presenting an irrefutable one in the very near future. There will be voter ID for the midterm elections, whether approved by Congress or not. Also, the people of our country are insisting on citizenship and no mail-in ballots, with exceptions for military disability, illness, or travel. Thank you. Great. Once again, I approve of all this. I do believe there should be voter ID. What are you, cheating on the elections? What's the downside? That it's racist? It's not racist. Even the black people agree it's not racist. There was literally news reporters going out asking black people, hey, is voter ID racist? They're like, no, and we should have it. And why don't we have it? You know, literally. No, everybody, it's all just dumb. I disagree with the Democrats on that, so sure. Now, Trump is also really wanting to implement this to, because he's very sensitive to the topic about election fraud. We had the issue in 2020, Joe Biden winning the elections. Now, I'm not saying it's a fraud, but it was pretty suspicious that the guy got, what was it, 80 million votes? This impossibly large number of votes. And then Kamala Harris gets like a much normal amount compared to previous elections. Like, where did those, what was the additional number, 20 million votes go to? Trump got the same amount of votes or similar amount of votes all those three elections, 2016, 20, and 24. Something like that. I don't know. I don't have the chart pulled up in front of me. I could probably look it up. Election. Hold on. How do I look this up? USA election votes per year. Trump, Biden, Kamala. Vote number. No, vote numbers. It was in the images. I don't think they're going to show it, man. They're going to censor this. There was one where it showed like a picture of Joe Biden. Okay, I think I'm just going to have to look up. Yeah, okay, I think it's this. It is this, yeah. In 2020, Trump got 74 million votes. In 2024, he got 77 million. Okay, a difference of 3 million. More people voted for him in 2024, sure. Now, Joe Biden got 81 million votes. What was the difference? It was a big difference, I think. Are these even the official numbers? It was something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one that's been fed misinformation. But there is that talk about the election fraud. So he basically wants to prevent this from happening again in the midterms because he's really sensitive to the topic. I'll save this for later. And that. And that. No, where's the midterm post? Okay, well, here it is. The Democrats, allegedly, are planning to impeach and remove both Trump and Vance if they win the 2026 midterms. According to the Polymarket, according to Polymarket, Democrats currently have an 83% chance to win the midterms. It's not looking favorable for the Republican Party. They're going to have to do something about this. Maybe pump the crypto market. Maybe. I think, I don't know. What would they even have to do? Follow through on their promises with mass deportations and no new wars? Either that, and also affordability is another big thing. The Epstein files, scandal. Get some people arrested, please. Do something with Attorney General or FBI Director. It seems like they're a bit incompetent, a little bit. And I don't know if crypto is on the chart of their concerns after all of this stuff is still going on. Maybe we just get left in the dust throughout all this. But in an ideal world, Trump will solve all of this stuff within a few months and also pump the crypto markets along with it. Now, how likely is that? I don't know. We're going to have to rely on other stuff. Maybe the Clarity Act and maybe the, Fed rate cuts, which I don't know how much that will help, really. It's all data dependent too, which that's all annoying. This is funny. House Republicans announced investigation into Bad Bunny's Super Bowl performance, alleging that the Spanish lyrics were inappropriate for television. Okay, are we really doing that? It was more like, oh, I have so many girlfriends, I have one in the morning, I take her to the VIP, and that's all the song was really about. It's fine, dude. Maybe, I don't know. What do we think about polygamy? Anyways, this is not going to stop the White House from announcing, guys, prices are dropping. We are the party of affordability. Vote for Republican in the midterms, is their message. Prices for everyday items are falling. Eggs are down 34%. Moving and storage is down 15%. Smartphones are down 10%. I think that's because there's no smartphone innovations, honestly, but sure. Gasoline is down 7.5%, especially after we're getting all that free oil from Venezuela. Now, this is a allegedly happening too. A partial shutdown of the US government will start tonight at midnight, literally today, as members of Congress literally left the country and headed to Europe. Why? Do we actually have a shutdown? I didn't really look this up, it just piqued my attention. A shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security is all but inevitable after the Senate failed to advance a funding bill headed out on a week-long recess without a deal regarding new limits on immigration enforcement. So it seems like the last shutdown, I don't know, the due date was today or something, or we've delayed it until today, but everybody decided to dip to Europe allegedly. I'm saying allegedly because I don't know for sure. Yeah, they failed to advance the DHS funding bill, which means that the DHS will likely shut down tomorrow night. So it's just the DHS. Fetterman was the lone Democrat to vote in favor. W. Fetterman. These idiots aren't shutting down ICE because ICE is fully funded for the year. Yeah, that's true. They're shutting down the Coast Guard, TSA, cybersecurity agencies, and more. They're putting our country at risk for politics. So that's what's really going on. Thank you, Democrats. You guys are awesome. I can't believe 80% of people are voting for them. But also, are Republicans going to do any better? What do we even do? Both sides of the same coin at this point. Do something. Scott Bessent, pass the Clarity Act. We've talked about him before and his opinion on the Clarity Act, but I do want to bring it up once more because, well, he says the Clarity Crypto Market Structure Bill, it could boost investor sentiment, which we know about, but delays past the 2026 midterms may hurt its chances. Why should we delay it all the way there? Just do it now and give us our pump and we'll be happy. But it seems like they keep on delaying it. There's no set date as to when the banking committee is going to be, you know, making their decisions and seeing what fits, what doesn't fit, and ultimately passing it on to the floor to get it signed. Something like that is what this video, whoops, I slapped my mic, what this video was talking about. My mic is still okay? Yeah. So, when is this really going to happen? Will it pump crypto? Yes, it will, obviously. If passed, it will reduce uncertainty, it will draw in investment, and it will lift prices. Treasury Scott Bessent noted that, but markets are volatile, so outcomes aren't guaranteed. Where it's going to send Bitcoin to 40K. I think it will be bullish overall, of course. And maybe it's the catalyst that we need to actually get the big pumps in the market here. What else has been going on? White House talks on stablecoin yield and rewards ended without a deal, but were seen as more productive than prior meetings. Banks proposed strict limits on rewards, discussions centered on permitted crypto activities, and a March 1 deadline was set for an agreement. We'll see what happens by then. We have an insider trade purchase. Wow, and a congressman purchased Bitcoin. That's all you really gotta know. This guy's name is Byron Donalds. Purchased Bitcoin. He sits on the House Subcommittee on Digital Assets. 42% chance Bitcoin hits 75K this month. Really? The odds are not in our favor. When was the purchase made? I literally want to know. Between January 8. Oh, he purchased on January 8. Oh, so he bought pretty high. And he also bought back in December. So, he's been buying. You should too. So we got economic data today. Another big news event. US CPI numbers. I don't understand this. I'm just going to show you the actual economic data chart because it's easier for me to read. So the core inflation rate. We were expecting a rise in that. Came in line with expectations. Month over month. Okay. Year over year core inflation rate. We were expecting a drop in that. And it came in line with expectations. Great. So that's so far in line with expectations. Where the surprise comes from is in this area right here. The month-over-month inflation rate, generally speaking, it was expected to remain the same at 0.3%. It actually dropped to 0.2%. So 0.1%, that's a big win, even though it's a small percentage. And year over year, even better. We previously had 2.7. We were expecting a drop to 2.5. It dropped to 2.4. So inflation is actually not a concern at all, right? Where's the rate cuts? Please and thank you. I am waiting with my hands wide open. Here's Powell in big trouble now. So we got the data released. We just read that. US CPI is now at its lowest level since April 2025, right before when tariffs were imposed. Core CPI is at its lowest level in almost 5 years when the entire US economy was in lockdown. This means that despite the Fed's claims of inflation heating up, especially due to tariffs, it's actually trending lower. Meanwhile, the other aspect of the US economy is breaking. The labor market is getting worse. I don't know. The last jobs data was decent, but sure. Credit card delinquencies are rising. That's not good. I'm glad I'm not collecting on that anymore. Kind of am. I don't know. I feel the pain either way. Corporate bankruptcies are hitting 2008 crisis levels. That's not good. This is a clear sign that the Fed has committed a huge policy mistake. Yeah, we need free money, please, to save the credit card debt, to save the companies going bankrupt, to save the labor market. Cut the rates, right? That's the only answer for this. It's a clear sign. The Fed has been hawkish for longer than expected, which is harming the US economy. In year 20 to 21, they remained dovish longer than expected, which caused inflation to spike. This time, the real risk is deflation, which is far worse than inflation. With each passing day, it feels like Trump's comments around "too late, Powell" are true. Yeah. We do need those rates to be cut. As of right now, traders are pricing in a 50% chance of a third Federal Reserve rate cut this year, with a 30% chance by April and over 80% odds by June. Is that real? I will verify right now. 3 rate cuts for this year? That's big if true. And why are we not at 80K by now? Or 100K? Well, still a 90% chance of no rate cut for the next meeting, nor for the meeting after that. So we do really want Powell to get out of here. It actually is true. Look at that. So first rate cut happening in June, no change in July. Second rate cut happening in September, no change in October. And the last rate cut happening in December. That's 3 rate cuts. Well, it's a bit of a 50-50 for December. 54 to 45%. 55-45. But it's still leaning toward a third rate cut for December. The Fed was originally projecting only 1 rate cut this year. Are we too bullish? Maybe. The jobs data that we got the day before yesterday, the non-farm payroll and unemployment, it had to be good data. Otherwise, we would be in fear of recession, which we don't want. That is why I said it was necessary to take one for the team. Take one hit of unfavorable economic data against the markets, the crypto markets, which is why we had a bit of a slight decay over the past week. But with this inflation data that we just got, the optimism is starting to kick back in again. It seems like we might get 3 rate cuts, potentially. We'll see how it goes. Metals and equities. Okay, what's going on here? Yesterday it was reported that Russia is considering moving back to the US dollar as part of a wide-ranging economic partnership with President Trump. Interesting. In the past 3 to 4 years, Russia has strongly advocated reducing reliance on the US dollar, fueling the major de-dollarization trade narrative, the whole BRICS talk, which we've extensively discussed in the past. Several other countries have followed suit, reducing exposure to dollar assets, a key reason for the dollar index's decline, the DXY. The massive rally in gold and silver has also been driven by this trend, as countries dump treasuries and buy precious metals. But now this trade may be over. Russia is now planning to shift toward a dollar-based settlement system, which would boost USD demand. Stronger US dollar has historically been bearish for markets, so metals, equities, and crypto, unfortunately, will suffer from this, if that is true, if Russia does come back. Metals will be hit the hardest, as a strong USD undermines the debasement trade narrative. For equities and crypto, it will be bearish, but likely not for long. Ultimately, fundamentals will take over, right? With more energy supply entering markets after a Russia-US partnership, inflation will drop, and the Fed will become less hawkish. This reduces the odds of monetary easing, but at least removes Fed uncertainty. Remember, Bitcoin rose in 2023 despite the Fed rate hikes and quantitative tightening, which is true. I mean, we bottomed out so hard that we just had to rise at that point. Risk on assets loves certainty, so if this deal is finalized, it will be a mid to long-term bullish move for stocks and crypto. Gold and silver, however, could enter a multi-year downtrend. I don't know about that. With the wars going on, I think that's still gonna keep its uptrend for a while. The OPEC Plus, they reported that they've added 2.9 million barrels of crude oil per day in April. What? In April. Okay, well, that means cheaper oil, lower production costs for everything, inflation dies, Fed rate cuts. Good. Rate cuts don't come from good vibes, they come from falling inflation, and nothing kills inflation faster than cheap energy, which is true. That's also part of the reason why Trump is truly pushing for cheaper gas prices. One, for affordability, two, for the inflationary aspect of it. It's cheaper to transport products from one place to another, meaning that prices should also drop with that lower cost of energy. And now we've got a lot of oil from Venezuela. But they say it's going to take a long time to actually make good use out of it, so we're not going to see the effects of that immediately. But it's a good start. OPEC's March 1st decision might be one of the best economic news of 2026, and nobody's talking about it. Okay. I don't understand these dates. They have not happened yet. What are we talking about? Are we projecting in the future that they will be adding 2.9 million barrels? It says that they added ads. I don't know, man. Hey, as long as it's real news. I don't know if I trust Reuters anymore, but sure. CZ talking about Brazil. Apparently they've reintroduced a bill to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which would allow the country to acquire up to 1 million Bitcoin. I don't know what Brazil is doing. They keep banning stuff, then promoting stuff, then they're going to join BRICS, and then they're going to ban Twitter, and then they've reestablished it. And now they're going to make a Bitcoin strategic reserve, but they're also tightening restrictions on stablecoin usage because a lot of people use stablecoins in Brazil. So it's like, what is even going on there? But sure. Takes a lot of money to accumulate one Bitcoin. Yeah, not at these prices though. Is Seifu Fund buying anymore? I have not heard anything of Seifu Fund. Speaking of Binance. February 12, we have an update. They bought another 4,545 Bitcoin worth $304 million. They now hold 15,000 Bitcoin, which is worth $1 billion. So is that it? Did they finish? Their holdings were 10,000, now they're 15,000 Bitcoin worth $1 billion. Because they had 1 billion USDC, or T, I don't know, American stablecoin, right? That they were going to transfer into Bitcoin, taking advantage of the low prices. And it was only $1 billion worth of that. It seems like now they have that. It's 15,000 Bitcoin worth $1 billion. What's the price? 68,866.6. Yeah, that is $1 billion. So there you go. I don't know. They said they were going to also do it over the span of 30 days. It's been less than that. Maybe 2 weeks. But hey, the sooner the better, I guess. More talks on Binance CEO in France. Binance France CEO. So it's not CZ, okay? It's a Frenchman. He was targeted in a failed home invasion, yes, attempt, as crypto-related crime rises in France. There were 3 masked men who attempted to target the CEO of Binance France in a home invasion on Thursday, February 12, according to RTL. The suspects forced their way into a residential building in Val-de-Marne around 7 a.m., initially breaking into another resident's apartment to obtain directions to the correct unit. Why a robbery at 7 a.m.? Okay, anyway, they searched the crypto executive's residence, but they fled after realizing he was not home. Oh, the guy's, of course, he's a millionaire. He's not going to be staying at home later than 7 a.m. The guy's out doing exercise in his balcony or something. I don't know. What do rich people do with their time? Then they searched the crypto executive residence. They realized he wasn't home. They stole 2 mobile phones. Later that morning, at approximately 9:15 a.m., police in Vaucresson, Haute-de-Seine, responded to a separate home invasion where a resident was struck in the head with gun butts by masked attackers. The Lyon Research and Intervention Brigade arrested the 3 men at Lyon-Perrache train station later that day. All suspects are now in custody. Race and religion, please. No, I'm kidding. The incident comes amid growing concerns over a rise in crypto-related crimes in France, particularly targeting high-profile industry figures. Yeah, they've got a big problem. And it was not that long ago as well. I think a couple months ago, some other important figure in crypto also got robbed in France. It's happened a lot of times, like crypto criminal activity, like actual physical burglary is happening a lot. I think they tortured some other CEO of some other company, something like that. I don't remember, but crazy. What is going on in France? No, actually, what is going on in South Korea? So this whole Bitmine thing, remember that? That's separate though, but what is going on here? They launched an internal probe after the police lost 22 Bitcoin from custody, following a separate case where prosecutors lost 320 Bitcoins earlier this year. How are you messing up that bad? They lost it. Oh no. And also the same thing with Bithumb. Did I say Bitmine? I meant Bithumb. Yeah, with Bithumb, they sent 2,000 Bitcoins to like hundreds of people. Bitcoins that never really existed. They just fake Bitcoins that just came out of nowhere. The smart people withdrew it to their own crypto addresses. The other ones had their accounts frozen until it was seized back by the exchange. They had to undo that. They were supposed to only send them $1.50 in Korean currency, Korean wons, but they ended up sending 2,000 Bitcoin because it's 2,000 Korean wons. They messed up. But this is, I mean, how do you even do this? I saw another post talking about, why, I should not say it. Why should you pay taxes on your crypto? Here we go. If you can just send your crypto to a privacy chain and be like, yep, my crypto got hacked and stolen. I don't know where it is. Now, you shouldn't do that because that is illegal, but yeah, anyways, it's funny. Everyone's pricing in that quantum computers killed Bitcoin. Oh, again, the quantum narrative. Yes. I'll keep covering this extensively. I think we'll be fine. Nobody is pricing in that quantum computers kill everything else first, which is true. Your bank runs on RSA encryption. Your email runs on RSA encryption. Every website runs on RSA ECC encryption. The Bitcoin devs are literally building quantum-resistant protocols right now. From 2030 to 2035, for cryptographically relevant quantum computers is the timeline. If Bitcoin dies from quantum computing, your ATM pin died 5 years earlier and you never noticed because your bank was too slow to tell you. Yeah, literally that. I'm sure they wouldn't go for crypto once quantum computing becomes mainstream. They'll be going for like military codes and government databases and stuff like that. Crypto's the least of their concerns. There's unlimited money with the banks. They'll just hack that instead. Why will they take your average Joe's Solana? Now, I wanted to talk more about the Polymarket thing. We did talk about it yesterday, the fact that you can basically bet on the markets. Literally betting. This is literally gambling. Will Bitcoin's price move up or down in 15 minutes? That's the guess. It's a 50-50 move. Your take, right? Now there's stories. Oh, by the way, it's powered by Chainlink, which I did not cover that before. So W Chainlink, and Chainlink is just having a field day today, up 5%. No, it's really, this is a nothing burger. It's only up because Bitcoin is up. Okay, it has nothing to do with this. But it's still interesting, don't get me wrong. Now, there's a lot of talk about how people are making these algorithmic bots to trade on those markets. The 5-minute markets, the 15-minute markets. by finding like discrepancies. Is that what you call it? Like, I don't know. The way I understand it is if there's the vote out there, will crypto move up or down in 5 minutes? And it's like a 80 to 20% chance, like 80% chance it will go up, 20% chance it will go down. The bot will determine that there's a huge difference there. It will vote for the down, and if it's right, it receives a huge payout. There's your risk to reward ratio, right? Why would you bet on the obvious and risk losing your whole money when you can bet on the least obvious? And if for whatever reason things turn around and the obvious didn't play out, you just made a lot of money. And it's showing all these profits that these bots have been making. A Canadian student, this darn kid, he's making what, $80,000 a day? Is that even real? How do you even do this? Now, some of this might actually just be scams, so don't click on any of these links. But there's a lot of stories about it. Polymarket opened 5-minute Bitcoin markets. Somebody already built a trading bot for it. $38,000 of profit per day from non-stop trading. The time frame is 3 times shorter now. You need surgical precision with indicators. That's a good thing, I guess, is that you don't have to like... Okay, hold on. How do I say this? If you're trading, like actually trading, you need huge amounts of volume for the amount of money that you're betting in. A lot of leverage, of course. A stop loss, a take profit. You have to deal with commission fees. I don't know, maybe funding. I doubt funding fees because it's over a span of a long time. But still, you know, they might be in effect there. The slippage. I don't know. Stuff like that. Or, you know, price delays, whatever the case may be. And it's not exact, right? It's not as simple as, you know, in 5 minutes, will it be up or down? That's simple. Whereas in a crypto chart, I could just go ahead and open a max long right here in Chainlink and hope it goes up. And if it goes down, well, I lose. It's a literally 50-50 or a 1-to-1 loss. I mean, depending on how much money I put, right? Whereas with the other one, if you're wrong, you only lose whatever small amount you decided to lose. But if you were right, you only have to be slightly right. You don't have to expect a huge move, and you'll receive a huge payout if you were right. And the difference between 80 to 20%, for example, goes in your favor instead of the obvious, what people are betting on. So that's what people seem to be making money on, and I might have to try my hand at that myself. The delays over a couple milliseconds and you're too late. Bots now have to process twice as many signals. Every movement matters, every candle counts. And maybe if you combine this with like indicators and smaller time frames, I don't know how well that would work, but that's probably what these bots are doing, right? Indicators that are in your favor, plus a huge discrepancy in the odds, right? Like an 80-20 or 75-25. I keep using that same analogy, but you know, that's what's important. And the price doesn't even have to make like a huge move, because if, like I said, you open a position here and price just stays flat in 15 minutes, like, yeah, you've made no money. But like if it's just slightly higher than when you entered and you were betting toward the upside and you're right, you get the payout. And it's a big payout depending on, well, depending on how much the differences between the two are, right? It's interesting. Positions open and close in minutes. The bot is constantly analyzing price action, volume, order flow, making decisions faster than any human could react. While manual traders are still processing what happened, the bot already entered and exited. That's the new meta on Polymarket. Speed isn't an advantage anymore. It's baseline requirement. If you're not automated, you're just exit liquidity. 5-minute markets just turn prediction trading into high-frequency execution. Manual traders don't stand a chance. Interesting. Some guy turning $95 into $1,900 on the 5-minute Polymarket. Here's the strategy. Makes 15 trades per hour. The median trade size is $10. He buys both up and down. I think that's a free money glitch. Am I right? You're buying up and down. If you're wrong, you lose $10, but if you're right, you make a lot more than $10 if there's a big difference between the two. I don't know. I actually have to test it out to know for sure. Hey, Claude, trade a 5-minute Polymarket for me and don't make any mistakes. That's funny. Yeah, there's a lot of posts talking about that. 4 rounds per hour, 12 rounds per hour in different trading cycles. Micro arbitrage appears more often. Okay. Hey man, I'll see if I give it a shot, and then I'll let you guys know how it goes. But yeah, I don't know, maybe this is the next cancer that the crypto market will experience. We'll see. My last bit of news, X will soon allow Premium Plus users to filter by country. That should get rid of a lot of these garbage posters all across the world that don't know what they're talking about or are not even American, opining on American politics, for example. Now, people have been sharing the maps, I think. Did people share the maps where they would rather block? Come on, I saw a lot of maps from before. Okay, a lot of Indian people obviously will be blocking Indian accounts. That's where all the spammers and scammers come from. Sure, I would agree with that. But people also want to block, like, the woke countries like Canada, I guess. And I'm from here, so I'm going to get my visibility reduced. But it's only for, you know, people that spend money on the app. Who spends money on this app, am I right? Premium Plus? Get out of here. Checking audience percentages to figure out how much my X ad revenue will be affected when I block certain countries. Yeah, literally that. If you block other countries, they will not be able to see your posts. So other people from around the world will not be able to see your posts. What country is that? I wish I could block that country too. Oh, but my profile, I think it's in Canada. It should be. Otherwise, I think it's... Yeah, okay, good. Canada. Because of my VPN, I think when I signed up for a Twitter account, I had my VPN enabled, and my VPN is set to someplace Europe. It's set to the Netherlands. So it literally said Netherlands at one point when the update first rolled out for Twitter locations, which was funny. But yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Just don't block Canada. I know it's woke and all, but come on. Yep. That's all the news I have for tonight. Tomorrow's Saturday. Don't expect anything big. We'll still cover whatever we have to cover tomorrow, so stay tuned for it. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's stream. And did I say what episode number this is? I really forget. I think I did. I hope I did. Either way, in case I forgot, it's episode 371. Dude, imagine that's wrong. I think it might be wrong. Stream settings. Oh no, here it is. Edit. Yeah, it is 371. Well, there you go. Hope you enjoyed episode 371. Right, I was going to add Litecoin and or Hedera. I'm going to add Litecoin. Maybe I'll add Hedera too. I don't know. It's up 10% today. Well, might as well have a look at that. Okay, well there you go. Should have bought Hedera yesterday when I talked about it. Too bad. You snooze, you lose. There will be more opportunities later. It's only a 10% rise. We're fine, dude. Thanks guys for watching. I'll see you